Alright, hello everyone. Today we got a big announcement. We have Mirror Dungeon 3 coming out on December 14th, as well as the kit for Rodion dropping on this patch as well. We're also getting another 600 lunacy in total from a story error as well as regular patch notes. Nothing interesting in this one. You can go and read the bug fix and improvements yourself. I didn't find anything particular that was very interesting to me. Right. So let's start off with the content update. So Mirror Dungeon 1 and 2 are going to be fused together into MD3. You need to clear main story 219 in order to unlock this, and hard mode will be added on December 21st. So another thing about this fusion is that they will also reset your ego gift compendium, so you will not be able to know beforehand what these ego gifts are. You have to go and do it again. The reason for this is because they're adding new ego functions such as enhance or fuse, so you can actually change your ego gifts. So your compendium is going to get reset so that these enhancements and fusions will be added to the new compendium. Don't know if this was necessary, but whatever, they did it anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to have a lot of stuff to go and explore again. Starlight earned in MD2 is going to be reset, so no carryovers. You have to grind MD3 to get the Starlight buffs for MD3. And then December 14th, the maintenance comes at this timing here. Remember to pop your weekly count beforehand so you can get your shards. Right. So for dungeon entry and rewards, MD2 normal and MD3 normal have the exact same rewards, but MD3 normal has a maximum of 4 floors. And you have to full clear the floors. You cannot do 98% clears anymore. You have to do the final boss in order to get the full reward clear. However, like you can see the sentence, however, in MD3, the rewards will be based on how many floors you have cleared. So no more skipping final boss. Not sure how this will fare because they have a new way of balancing the game from what I can see. Okay, so starter buffs. Unlike the starter buffs from MD2, they are going to make it so that you can find the ego gifts for the build you are looking for. Now that is some good shit because MD2, right, you pretty much just go get whatever abnormality gifts you can get and pretty much just wing it and just run it down. So now what they're going to do is that they're going to give us 12 starter buffs, and then the hard mode drop will introduce additional buffs to each of them, so you can go and buy more stuff later. But right now we only get 12 starter buffs, and these buffs here are to help you find ego gifts for a build that you are looking for. So for example, a journey start is going to give you a small chance for tier 3 ego gifts to appear. So maybe all of these things here will be just related to ego gifts and other stuff. So yeah, very interesting. So pretty much they want us to be able to run our poise gang and then get all the poise gifts. They run the burn gang, get all the burn gifts, for example. This is especially accentuated with this starting ego gift and upon entry. So you can select which pool you want. You can select from bleed, select from tremor, select from rupture, and you'll be able to pick one of, it looks like one of 3 ego gifts from each of these pools here. Do not know if it's going to be one of 3 or all 3 of them. Probably going to be one of 3, not going to lie. But yeah, this is very cool. And when you select this ego gift, remember this part here is very cool. You gain additional starlight by selecting a buff that you did not use in your last mirror dungeon run. So this is kind of like Hades if you played that game. In Hades, if you come back to the main base, basically, you can see which of the weapons got the drop rate buff, and you can pick that to get an additional drop rate. So in our case here, pretty much all of them have that drop rate buff. You just need to pick the one that does not, that you did not clear previously with. So if for example I clear with burn, then I don't pick burn, I go for bleed team next, I go for tremor team next, I go for rupture team next. All of them will have the buff. Yep. So this is very cool. Not sure how much that boost is going to give. Hopefully it's going to be significant so that I'll actually be able to like convince myself to go and do this. But yeah, this is very cool and promotes trying for different statuses. Right, so in MD3, they also adjust the probabilities so that the deeper you go, the more likely it becomes for higher tier ego gifts to appear, and thus the starting ego gifts here are going to be possibly tier 3. So if for example you see a really high level ego gift here, you may want to just say, screw all my previous plans, so we're just going to do a charge team today or something along those lines. But yeah, this is really cool. Do take note you need the relevant starter buff to go and get that. Yeah, so very cool. Pretty much all of this here is just to make it so that we can go for specific team comps and run that down. In particular, what I like here is also it doesn't restrict you from just running your exact same team comp all over again and just speedrun the dungeon if you want to just farm shards. None of this actually affects your shard gain, so this is also really nice. You can pretty much just go in, take anything you see here that looks like real big damage, and then run your rabbit all the way to the end. Another thing about the creating your team, right? You can deploy 12 IDs. So you bring all of them in like a regular story dungeon, and you can actually see how much of the starlight that you will be getting after you clear beforehand, based on what you have picked here, as well as how much starting cost you will get. So you can get additional starting costs by bringing 1 star or 2 stars, and you can also deploy IDs that were not once deployed in the run beforehand. So pretty much if you ran Rabbit, for example, in the previous one, and you swap to Suncliff, you will be able to get a cost bonus, even though they are 3 stars. And if you run a 2 star, you get a little bit more, it looks like. Okay, from what I can tell here, it looks like 35 and 50, maybe? I don't know. It's like I'm not sure about the scaling here and whether it's going to be actually relevant or not. But yeah, pretty much they do not actually restrict you to just bring a bunch of 3 stars. You can actually still do it, but it's just that if you bring 1 or 2 stars, you will be able to get more cost. And if you bring the other 3 star that you did not bring the last time, then you also be able to get more cost. This might change in Mirror Dungeon 3 Hard. Maybe they'll restrict the number of your 3 stars as per usual, like our MD2 Hard. IDs that have been swapped in or out of this run will not receive their starting cost bonus. So if you were to buy your Rabbit Heathcliff halfway, then you will not be able to get a starting cost on the next run that you do. In addition to that, they also add rest bonus. Rest bonus is a bar, is a 5 out of 5 bar, and pretty much when you clear a mirror dungeon, you consume that whole bar, and you get starlight based on how much you consumed. Every time your ID has not taken part in the MD3 run, you will get 1 rest bonus bar. So pretty much it encourages you to try other characters. And if you swap the character at the end of the, or at the middle or near the end, pretty much that starlight does not get reset. So it's a bit different from starting cost. Starting cost, it does get reset, but for the rest bonus, it does not. So pretty much if I brought my Rabbit and then my Suncliff is swapped in halfway, Suncliff will keep his rest bonus. It will not be consumed. It will only be Rabbits that get consumed. So that is pretty cool. Do not know how much, that's the problem, right? Even though all these mechanics seem to promote starlight gain, I really wonder how much you're actually getting from this in the grand scheme of everything. If I looked at the first buff here, right? The first buff I think costs about 96. So 96, and I get a bonus of like what, 11 starlight here? I can't really tell from here, but it looks like 11. So I don't know, man. I don't know how much I'm actually getting. So don't know if it'll be worth it or not, or whether it's just better to just run it down and just grind hard with your speedrun characters. So yeah, we have to see when the update drops. So for the shops, they added a lot of interesting stuff here. So you can now sell your ego gifts, which is super cool. Pretty much if your ego gift screws up your build, for example, if you get medkit and you're running Shi and your Shi gang cannot really stay at 50% HP, you can sell your medkit and you pretty much will be able to continue doing what you want to do. And you also get refresh, so that you can refresh to go and find the ego gift that you want. It is going to cost increasingly more the more times you refresh. So probably only recommended to refresh like 1 or 2 times if you are desperately looking for something here. Right, and then deployment is going to change as well. Deployment, you pay 1 time, and you'll be able to swap as many characters as you want and as many egos as you want. So instead of swapping specific characters in and then paying 100 for each of them, you instead pay, looks like 200 here, and then you get to swap 3 characters into 3 stars. So it's 100 cost cheaper to get other 3 stars into your party. So that is okay, I guess, because the fact is Mirror Dungeon normal right now, it lets you bring whatever 3 stars you want. But I think MD3 is probably going to be a lot more relevant. That 100 cost could be used to buy something else down here. Very, very cool. Okay, and then lastly, rest stops. Rest stops introduces a new mechanic different from the shops. So in the shops, you can refresh, sell your gifts, and you can buy any of these ego gifts here. At the rest stop, you cannot buy ego gifts, and you cannot sell ego gifts. Instead, you get to enhance, and you get to fuse. Fusing will only come later, but enhance is already going to be on the patch day itself. So for enhanced gifts, let's talk about that one. You get to upgrade an ego gift up to 2 times. Some ego gifts cannot be enhanced, but this is very, very cool. Voodoo Doll here, for example, goes from 3 NV affinity and 33% less HP requirement to 4 fixed NV affinity and 50% less. And this can be upgraded 1 more time. And it looks like it costs about I can't really do the math here. Is it like 80? I think it costs like 80 to upgrade. So interestingly enough, there will probably be compendium versions for each one of these, which means that I'm gonna have to go through a lot of runs to get all of this compendium filled up. Hopefully someone will help me figure out all of the possible compendium shit on the day itself. It's gonna be a real long day, that's for sure. Gonna have to do quite a few runs to get all of them. Yep, so really cool. And then we got fuse gifts. Fuse gifts, right, is based on the tier and the buff category. So the buff category will appear on the bottom right. So in this case, this is a rupture related ego gift. So this is a neutral ego gift. It has no particular status that it's affiliated with. So they're going to fuse both of these, and the appearance of the fused ego gift differs based on what you have fused here. So for example, maybe if I fuse like 2 ruptures, right, I will highly increase the chance of getting a rupture ego gift here. If I put tier 2s here, then it's probably going to be a tier 2 fusion. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I want to go and try. This is very cool, and leaves a lot of replayability in my opinion. You get to try and see which things are busted, and then later on, once you get your whole compendium done, you pretty much can go and snipe specific ego gifts just as like fodder, maybe to go and fuse them in order to get a really busted ego gift. Really don't know what they actually are right now, if they will be busted, but damn dude, this has huge potential for some busted stuff. So really cannot wait. Mirror Dungeon 3 is just going for more fun factor, going for more choose your own build path, and I really like it. Because pretty much that's how this whole game works. You pretty much just go for a status and you just build for it. So yeah, this is perfect. Yes, it perfectly aligns with what Limbus is building towards right now. Another thing here is that the healing, right, is going to be the exact same cost as the shop as well. So pretty much you will need to pay the exact same amount for healing. Pretty much just bring your own healing eco or something like that, and you'll be pretty much good to go. This part here is probably the main thing to be visiting these rest stops for now, to just go and upgrade and enhance your shit. Yep, so really cool. And remember, December 21st, then it will drop. Only when MD3 Hard drops, then this will come. Alright, so here is the balancing act. I don't know if MD3 Hard will still add the coin power stuff, because what happens here is that in MD3 normal, we get to see the so-called balancing of the game difficulty. You get to pick what the enemies are going to do better when you go down a floor. So in this case, this one is inflict additional burn with their skill. So if the enemy doesn't apply burn, then pretty much this is a worthless buff, so I might take it. And then we also got some pierce boost. Okay, that's not nice. And then we got slash boost, also not nice. So maybe I'll just go for this, but then maybe I want one of these egos here. Maybe this one for Tremor, maybe this one neutral, maybe there's a neutral fusion ego gift later, maybe there's a Tremor fusion ego gift later. What to prioritize, and then which debuff I do not want to take. So yeah, there's a lot of decision making to be made here. Very nice additional layer to the gameplay. This is pretty much the every time you clear a floor, you get one free ego gift, but that ego gift will also come with the debuff, and you must take a debuff. Even if you refuse the gift, you will get one of the debuffs. So this is completely random according to P-Moon. Each of these buffs here will be randomly generated and then slapped to a random ego gift. So it's not always going to be like Voodoo Doll, which is a neutral element, will always have like piercing or some shit. It's pretty much random, pure random. Right. So this is really cool, and also of course the buffs and debuffs will compound, so they will just carry over each floor. So at the final floor, that will be the combination of whatever you have picked until that point. Maybe it'll be cool, you know, like if the deeper I go, right, the higher the level the ego gifts become. So maybe like we get the fatal resistance one, but then at the bottom, enemies also hit you for fatal or some shit like that. That would be a real flip of a coin right there. Whew, do I take that or nah? I don't know. Alright, and then the last part is a nice UI change here, so you get to see your starlight gains here, as well as your battle pass gains here, and all of the units as well as all of your ego gifts. Doesn't look like there's any particular sorting here for the ego gifts, so it might be based on the time that you got them in. Who really knows? Yep, but so far looks really cool. And in addition to that, we also have 17 new ego gifts and 13 new abno choices, so even more stuff to go and experiment with. So finally, we got so much good shit coming. MD3 is looking real good. I cannot wait to see what they have for Hard. How they're going to make hard? Will it still be the same old coin power bullshit? Or will they make the debuffs even more stronger so that it will be a more tricky pick on which debuff I'm going to pick if I want to go deeper into the floors. So yeah, very very cool so far, right? It's all roguelike stuff, pretty much taken out of every roguelike book that I know of. A lot of roguelikes will do this one where you have to go and balance the risk reward. This one is really really cool. I don't really know many roguelikes that let you fuse your stuff. Actually, I know only like Hollow Cure or some other like Vampire Survivor like games will let you fuse stuff like this, but that's a totally different genre in my opinion. And we also have like enhanced gifts. Oh, so cool! Like, yeah, this is pretty much a full-blown roguelike in a gacha game. Yeah, so cool. Alright, so for the other changes, this part here, they're gonna make it so that cost in general is gonna get increased. But you will also no longer be able to get ego gifts from regular encounters, and obtaining random ego gifts from abnos as well as risky encounters has been lowered. So the chances of getting random shit from them is gone, but you will be able to get more cost upon finishing an encounter. And this change is so that you will be able to go for specific builds or look for that specific gift that will help your build pop off. So this is really really nice. Participant limit will be set to 6 by default, so you'll be using 6 members to go and kill all of the enemies, and then maybe when you hit a certain boss or the end of the floor, then you will get a 7 participant limit, because they say right now there's a separate amount of separate participant limit right now. Could be cool if they made like 1v1 or something like that, and then maybe you slap dieci in and then you just let her loose. Could be cool. But really don't know right now. There's just so much stuff here. I cannot wait to go and try all of these things. It's so cool. I am very very excited for this. So much stuff to go and grind for. So much stuff to go and just run through the dungeon. Really really cool shit. Pretty much you can bring your poise bleed gang in, take all the poise, take all the bleed, and there's also gonna be like 13 new ego gifts. Oh, so good. Finally, a big content update for Limbus. Right, so with all of that out of the way, let's finally get to Rodion. And I think it's pretty simple. it's really good. So I made a mistake last time. Ramshank is not a he ego, it's a Tef ego, so there's no conflict between Pursuance and Ramshank. In fact, you're probably just going to bring Pursuance plus Ramshank onto your dieci Rodion, who will greatly benefit from both. So, before we look at anything up here, let's look at the passive first. Whenever an enemy is staggered, the ally with the least HP percentage heals X% of their max HP. So the interesting wording here, right, is that whenever. It's not you, you know. It's not when you stagger the enemy. It's whenever an enemy is staggered. Which is like, huh? So pretty much, if I use like what, Sun Shower Ego, after I've used this Rodion and I stagger all, like 5 enemies, then the ally with the least HP just heals. So like, yeah, that's really really strong. That's a really strong passive. Passive healing after you use this ego one time. And it's a he ego, so it's not going to cost like... I mean, it's going to cost pretty high, but still, it's probably just going to be used once, right? Every fight. Or whenever you need to get that healing. So yeah. Really cool ego, honestly, because of that passive. And then we also got the active. Pretty much the active is Inflict X Sloth Fragility next turn, so great synergy with Sloth teams. Dieci has a Sloth skill. Otis Sloth skill. I can't really remember who else. Sun Shower Sloth skills. And then after attack, you heal 2 other allies with the least HP percentage for X% of this unit's HP. So I think Assault's one is based on the unit itself, but in this case, it is Rodion. It's pointing to Rodion of this units. So it's based on Rodion's max HP. So that's going to be quite interesting. And pretty much Dieci also has the highest max HP of all the Rodions. So this is pretty much meant for her. And then the hit attack end. If the target is staggered or defeated, apply X% of this unit's max HP as shield to allies that this unit heal. So this Dieci Rodion is now going to tank damage, allow the entire team to heal themselves by staggering enemies, and then also give 2 low HP allies healing as well as shielding if she can stagger or defeat an enemy. And I do not know if this ego is going to be AoE or not, because if it is AoE, right, then if it hits multiple targets, then you are going to get a bunch of shielding, pretty much. Wait, actually no, it's not. Hit attack end. So hit attack end. No. If this is on hit, then you would do that. This one is hit attack end, so it's a bit different. Yeah, so this one is just a singular application, but still, combined with this passive, And this healing here, pretty much a must slap onto your dieci. Not really like a must, but it's more like, yeah, if you got this, like, just slap it on her. There's no conflict. You're just fighting with what, 4th match flame Rodion, so there's really not much conflict here. And you get a free healing ego for your other allies, and you also have a passive that makes it so everyone can heal. It does say the ally here, so I'm actually curious if this means, right, that dieci can heal herself whenever she staggers a target. So if I solo with dieci and I stagger someone, does this line here, the ally, right, mean myself because I'm alone? So this could be also a very strong self-sustained ego. Very, very cool. This part here will probably not have any effect if it was a solo Rodion, but this part here might be worth it alone just to give her a sustain so that she can solo through a whole fight. So this is very, very, very cool stuff here. Very, very cool. And pretty much the corrosion ego has the same requirement here as Honglu. Pretty much you need to get to X minus % HP and you gain additional attack weight, and you get to burst tremor, deal X SP damage, and if target is staggered or defeated, you heal yourself. So if you corrode this ego, you can heal yourself with the active. But at the same time, because of this passive here, you also be able to heal yourself after that by staggering enemies. So yeah, really strong design. It's just like, imagine slapping more good shit onto Dieci Rodion, who is already a crazy good character. It's pretty much just adding like more sprinkles onto my cake. It's just super busted. So yeah, I definitely want to get this because Dieci Rodion is my favorite character and she deserves it. And this also will make her be able to maybe solo. I will need to check whether this actually affects herself, and I will also need to see exactly how much percentage of this unit's max HP is going to be healed and shielded. If it's like 5%, then you know. But it is Pursuance and it is 2 allies, so I'm thinking it's gonna be another 20% because Pursuance is 20%. Maybe it could be a bit lower, maybe 15% or something, I don't know, and I'll still probably use it no matter what. Let's hope the coins are good as well. Let's hope it's not too bad. It's a he ego and it's for dieci, so okay, look, because it's Dieci Rodion, I'm thinking that this ego is gonna be crazy busted, okay? So yeah, this ego's maybe going to be crazy busted with her. Yeah, so I really like this ego. I'm probably going to shard it. I'm probably not going to pull for it because Walpurgis Night is going to be coming at some point in the future months, and I really want to just hard pull on that banner. And anyway, this ego is probably not going away. Pursuance is pretty much an eternal ego. You can get it anytime you want. So pretty much, yeah, we are eating good for the Dieci Rodion owners because this shit here looks real good. Right, so that is going to be it for this video. And again, another quick summary. Pretty much bug fix improvements. We got the Assault banner, pretty much an ignore in my opinion. And then if you scroll down here, you get 300 lunacy, nice. As well as a bunch of bug fixes. Feel free to look at that yourself. And then we got main story error. It wasn't playing properly, so they give us another 300 lunacy. And then we got Dieci Rodion's ego, looks like at least. Very, very strong sustained ego, pretty much standard Pursuance stuff, similar to Assault. And then over here, we got the MD3 content dropping on December 14th. Remember to go and clear your weekly count. This is the most important one for anyone. Just go and clear your weekly count so that you can get those last MD2 Hard shards before the Mirror Dungeon normal comes in, and you can only grind that for now. Yep. So, can't wait for this. Leave your thoughts on the patch in the comments, and anything that I misread or misinterpreted, feel free to just correct me in the comments. I'll go and look at that later.